Hey guys, back again for another installment of the Power of Positive Thinking, which, if you are new to this series, which I'm doing once a week, it's based on the book called The Power of Positive Thinking by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, which was an excellent book that I read recently, all about how if you basically that your thoughts control your outcomes in life, that if you're thinking positively, then you'll have positive outcomes in your life. It makes a very good case for that, and it has a bunch of exercises for why or for how you can do that, how you can make your thought patterns more positive. Because if you're just kind of reacting to life, then chances are you're going to be focused on the negative. That's kind of the instinctual pattern of human beings, is to focus on the negative and be more worried about what's going wrong or what potentially could be going wrong, then noticing all of the incredible blessings that we have in our lives. And that kind of made sense a long time ago when there were actual threats to our existence. But nowadays, in modern life, there's so little real danger, right? There's so little that could actually threaten our lives in any meaningful way. And there's so much good that we could focus on, but we're kind of still stuck in those old ways of thinking. And it really sabotages our success and our happiness. So if we can retrain our brains to focus on the positive, sorry, there's a bug in my face, then we can get a lot of more positivity as a result, because thinking positively attracts more positive outcomes in our lives. So anyway, every week I'm going over one particular exercise about how to do this, because the book contains a ton of different exercises. And so what I'm doing is I'm picking one per week, and then I'm making it a habit to do that every single day of the week, and sort of in order to kind of get into the habit of it in general. And so I'm sharing it with you here so that you can follow along with me, and you can do the same habit and see how it works for you. Now, in this week, I'm going to talk about some steps you can do if you find yourself worrying, if you find yourself fuming and fretting, if you're angry and or worried, or you're afraid of the future. Because we find ourselves in this situation, we're afraid of the future a lot, which is kind of silly if you think about it. I'm definitely guilty of this all the time. That I'm happy, I'm comfortable, I'm well fed, I'm in an air-conditioned house, that I have shelter, there's literally nothing threatening me, yet I'm still worried about something bad potentially happening in the future. And so I'm robbing my present happiness because I'm thinking about something that could happen in the future, which is really completely irrational, but most of us do it. At least I like to think that most of us do it, so I'm not the only one that's stupid. But anyway, I think this is pretty common. Anyway, so I want to go over a kind of series of steps that you can do when you find yourself in these negative states. You find yourself angry about something, or you find yourself worrying about something. So I'll go ahead and read from the book here. It says, following is a technique consisting of 6 points, which I have personally found of great helpfulness in reducing the tendency to fume and fret. I have suggested its use to countless people who practice it and find it of great value. 1. Sit relaxed in a chair. Completely yield yourself to the chair. Starting with your toes and proceeding to the top of your head, conceive of every portion of the body relaxing. Affirm relaxation by saying, my toes are relaxed, my fingers, my facial muscles, etc. Go through each muscle group in your body and relax them one by one, which I'm going off the book, by the way. I'm giving you my own commentary here a little bit. The mental and the physical are very closely related, right? You notice if you're stressed or you're angry, you tense up, right? You clench your fists. Your muscles become tense, and oftentimes you don't even realize it. You don't realize how tense you are. So if you want to stop feeling the negative emotion, one of the easiest things that you can do is become consciously aware of the bodily reactions to that negative emotion, and release those. So you probably have tension in your forehead, you have tension in your face, you have tension in your legs or in your feet. right? So if you go one by one through those and release that tension, then that goes a long way. Okay, back to the book. That was step 1. Step 2, think of your mind as the surface of a lake in a storm, tossed by waves and in tumult. But now the waves subside, and the surface of the lake is placid and unruffled. 3, spend 2 or 3 minutes thinking of the most beautiful and peaceful scenes you have ever beheld, as, for example, a mountain at sunset, or a deep valley filled with the hush of early morning, or a wood at noonday, or moonlight upon rippling waters. In memory, relive these scenes. This is very similar to a common meditation, by the way, which is one of the many reasons which I highly recommend that you have a daily meditation practice, because it gets you used to being calm in stressful situations, which will serve you enormously in your life, no matter what you're doing. Okay, number 4, repeat slowly, quietly, bringing out the melody in each, a series of words which expresses quietness and peace, as, for example, tranquility. The word tranquility. Say it very deliberately in a tranquil manner. Serenity, quietness. Think of other such words and repeat them, which I couldn't help but think of Seinfeld with the old guy that gets mad and he says, "Serenity now, serenity now." If you're yelling it out angrily, it's probably not going to work very well. So don't do it the way he does it. But I thought that was funny. Okay, anyway, number 5, make a mental list of times in your life when you have been conscious of God's watchful care, and recall how, when you were worried and anxious, he brought things out right and took care of you. Then recite aloud this line from an old hymn. So long thy power hath kept me, sure it still will lead me on. This is really powerful because when we get into that state where we're worried about something, usually it's our point of view is extremely narrow. And the truth is that probably if we think about it rationally in our lives, we've been in much more difficult places than that, and nothing bad has happened. I think about this, I have this problem with spending money. I've noticed in myself that if I spend even a few $100s or $1,000 or more, I'm really worried about that decision. And then I think about in the past, whenever I've spent that kind of money, nothing changed, right? I spent $500 or I spent $1,000, and I was probably worried about it at the time, but my life didn't change at all. I was still able to pay my bills. I was still able to buy food. And it's like we get in this so limited frame of mind that something that really has negligible impact on our lives seems like this massive decision. And it's really not. If you go back and look at all the times before when you've been in a similar situation and maybe you were worried in the past, chances are everything turned out just fine. At least that's been my experience. And if you can remember those times, then that will give you a much more calm when you're facing the situation that you're going through right now. Okay, and the last one, 6. Repeat the following, which has an amazing power to relax and quiet the mind. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. From Isaiah 27:3. Which, to put that into normal English, you will keep him in perfect peace who is thinking about you, whose mind is focused on you. Repeat this several times during the day, whenever you have a fraction of a moment. Repeat it aloud if possible, so that by the end of the day, you will have said it many times. Conceive of these words as active, vital substances permeating your mind, sending into every area of your thinking a healing balm. This is the best known medicine for taking tension from the mind. It seems to me, in my experience, that worry is the opposite of faith, and by extension, cowardice is the opposite of faith. if you want to have courage, if you want to be able to face things confidently, then it helps a lot if you have faith in God, if you have faith in the nature of reality, that by putting in the effort and doing the things that you know are right to do, then everything will turn out all right. If you have that faith, you're going to have so much more courage than if you don't believe that. So I like that particular verse. And then the part about thinking about it permeating your mind and sending a healing balm, that's a kind of visualization exercise, which is also very powerful. I mean, it seems, I guarantee you, if you're just starting to do this at first, you're going to seem silly. Do it enough times that you desensitize yourself to that feeling of silliness, and it will really make a difference. I haven't done this one specifically, but I've done a lot of visualization practices that are similar to that, and visualization has an enormous impact on the mind. So that's it. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you will join me over the next week in catching yourself every time that you're worrying or every time that you're getting angry about something, and follow these 6 steps. I hope it works awesome for you. I hope you have an awesome week, and I will see you soon.